All right, let's get right into it. We usually think of AI as a tool, right? Something that does what we tell it to. But that whole dynamic is starting to get turned on its head. So what happens when the AI isn't just helping you out, but it's actually the one assigning you work? Today, we are looking at the new and kind of wild reality of the AI manager.
And listen, this isn't some far-off sci-fi idea. This is happening right now. That's a quote from Kaiser Habib, who's an engineering lead at the data company Snowflake. For him and his team, their whole workday has been completely reshaped by their new AI colleagues.
You know, at companies like Snowflake, this is just the new normal. Engineers are already spending 20 to 30 hours a week. That's a huge chunk of their time, working directly with multiple AI agents. And these agents aren't just, getting coffee. They're tackling complex, routine tasks, which frees up the human engineers to focus on the big picture, the really tough strategic problems. Now, just to be super clear, we are not just talking about your average chatbot here. As you can see, the big difference is that an AI agent is proactive. It doesn't just sit there and wait for you to type something. Nope. It plans things out, it carries out projects with multiple steps, and it adapts by pulling in information from your calendars, from your databases, from your business goals. It has agency.
And it's that proactive ability that's letting this tech just rocket up the corporate ladder. We're literally watching it jump from being a simple digital assistant to taking on a real supervisory role.
That's right, you heard it. We've got AI systems now that don't just do the work, they actually assign that work to people. And it gets deeper. They can monitor your performance, recommend who should get a promotion, and even flag which human jobs could be eliminated to make things more efficient. And this right here shows you exactly how this new workflow looks in action. You've got one AI agent writing code, and then a second AI agent acts as its manager, reviewing the first one's work and fixing its mistakes. All of this happens before a human supervisor even sees it. The org chart is literally being redrawn as we speak. So of course, this whole evolution brings up a massive question for anyone with a white-collar job, especially if you're in management. You've got to be asking, what does this mean for me, for my career?
Well, the impact is already here. I mean, look at this list. Major companies, Amazon, UPS, Target, you name it, they've all announced big layoffs. And their executives are being pretty open about it, saying that AI-driven efficiencies are a big reason why they can build a leaner organization. And the numbers? They tell a pretty stark story. This last January, we saw more layoffs in the US than in any January since the absolute peak of the Great Recession back in 2009. So yeah, this isn't just a blip on the radar, it's a clear and accelerating trend.
And looking down the road, the forecast gets even more serious. The investment bank Goldman Sachs estimates that as AI becomes more and more common, about 6 to 7% of all US workers could see their jobs just automated away. That's millions of people.
And of course, this risk isn't spread out evenly. Jobs that are heavy on structured data and kind of repetitive tasks, think programmers, accountants, administrative staff, those are the ones that are most exposed to this automation wave right now. This quote from Roger Kirkness, he's the founder of an AI software company, just absolutely nails what's happening. The biggest disruption is hitting that middle layer of the workforce. People are going from doing the job to supervising the AI that is now doing their old job for them. But wait, here's the twist. While all these companies are cutting jobs in the name of AI efficiency, a recent survey found that the majority of CEOs, 56% of them, admit they haven't actually seen any real money saved or revenue gained from AI yet. So the cuts are being made based on the promise of AI, not what it's actually delivering today. Okay, so that disconnect between the hype and the reality, it leads us straight to the single biggest hurdle for AI in the workplace. And it's not a technical problem, it's a human one. It all comes down to trust. So, as behavioral scientist Stefano Puntoni explains, if employees feel like an AI system is threatening their skills, their independence, or just their overall value, they're going to resist it. They might even, on a subconscious level, want the system to fail. And if your human team wants the system to fail, well, it's gonna fail. Doesn't matter how brilliant the tech is. So, really, the whole thing boils down to how a company decides to do this. If they roll out AI as a weapon to cut costs and replace people, well, trust is destroyed from day one. But if it's introduced as a tool to help human talent and share the benefits, it can actually build the very trust that needs to work in the first place.
And this isn't just some nice theory. The company Convictional actually did it. Instead of laying people off, they took the efficiency they got from AI and gave their entire staff a 4-day work week. And the result? Huge buy-in and a ton of confidence in the new tools.
This all leads to a really fascinating counter-narrative.
Because while some companies are sprinting toward total automation, others are making a very deliberate choice to double down on what makes us human.
Check this out. New Ground Wellness, a Canadian counseling firm. They were offered a $20,000 AI system to automate how they bring in new clients. But after they listened to what their callers wanted, they just turned it down, flat. They decided that the potential damage to their clients' trust was way more important than any efficiency they might gain. And as the co-founder Lucinda Bibbs said, their top priority is preserving that human connection. In their line of work, and honestly in many others, there's just an undeniable premium on the human touch. And that's something an AI just can't fake.
And they are definitely not alone in thinking this way. Their decision really taps into this powerful, widespread feeling. Survey after survey confirms that the vast majority of us, when we're given the choice, still prefer to deal with another person for customer service.
Which leaves us with one last, really crucial thought. The future of work isn't some set path we're all being forced down. It's being built, right now, through thousands of choices being made every day, by companies, by workers, by all of us as consumers. We're deciding the value we place on pure efficiency versus the value we place on human connection. So when the boss is an algorithm, who's truly in charge? That's the question we all need to start asking.